So what is up, everybody? I am back and I am bringing you another review for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I recently got to see this movie at an advanced screening for the film, and I actually just got done with watching it. It's about 12 o'clock when I'm kind of reviewing this movie, and I actually went in this movie kind of hating this movie. I kind of knew what was going on, considering the fact that it's Megan Fox and Michael Bay's producing this movie. Now, he didn't direct this movie. It is directed by director Jonathan Liebesman, and it was actually a pretty decent story. It wasn't the greatest Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie in the world, but it certainly wasn't the worst. One of the things that I had kind of a gripe with going into this movie is the fact that they were switching over from the guys in suits to these motion capture suits that would later be superimposed with these CG turtles, and actually it looked pretty decent. I felt like overall the graphics in this film were actually pretty cool, and what can you say, it's kind of computer generated graphics. These days you can pretty much do anything with computer generated characters, so you really have seen the pinnacle of computer generated effects with things like Transformers and stuff like that. So it really wasn't anything new or groundbreaking in any way. Shredder definitely looks cool in this movie. He's pretty badass, but he looks more like the Predator from the Predator films. He's got these like knives coming out of his kind of knuckles, and he's kind of like bashing people and kicking people in this movie. So it was a very interesting suit. I would equate it to being Predator mixed with Wolverine if I was going to be doing anything. So the plot of this movie revolves around these 4 turtles. Basically they were genetics experiments, and they were being used to kind of design this sort of virus that was going to be released on top of a spire in New York City, and this virus would later on kill pretty much off every single person in New York City. And what would happen was the government would kind of come in, and the company that William Fichtner's character was kind of running was going to kind of sweep in and kind of be the god of the city and kind of take care of everybody, and he would be pretty much treated like royalty, as he says it in this movie, kind of treated as a god figure. And that is when you learn that this plan and that's set in motion is not only bad for the turtles, but it's bad for pretty much everybody else, and it kind of revolves around these turtles kind of stopping Shredder and even William Fichtner's character from releasing this virus. I don't want to say any more about the plot because you will kind of learn about it as you watch this movie. I know for people that are going to this movie that are really big fans of the film, I really don't want to kind of spoil the film for you guys, because I know it's a really anticipated movie, and maybe or maybe not I will do a spoiler talk video about it later. I really don't go into spoiler talk videos because I'd rather people go see it and get their opinion of the film and kind of talk about it later. But Megan Fox, oh my god, like, she's one of the hottest female leading leads in history. Even though her acting ability isn't that great, she's still kind of at that new stage where she isn't great, but she isn't bad. I think her last film, Jonah Hex, was probably the worst films that she's ever been in, so it's kind of nice to see her kind of break out of that kind of Transformer stage and actually kind of make something new and make something kind of her own. She was really taking the lead in this movie, which is kind of nice to see, and see her in sort of a more mature character. There were a lot of kind of slapstick humor and slapstick jokes in this movie, as well as some sexualized kind of jokes. So this movie might not be for everyone, and it might not be for every single kid, but I think family members who are watching this movie kind of know that kind of humor from Michael Bay's previous other films. So definitely use caution when you're going to go see this movie with your kids. But it is not to the point where it's like Transformers, you're going thinking that it's going to be some clean humored movie like the first one, and then you come out thinking, what did I just watch? It's definitely not like that, but there are some kind of questionable moments in this movie, and the plot really revolves around family, and these turtles kind of grow up together. They kind of were mutated together, and they kind of grow up, and you go through the same stages they would a normal adult, but only these are Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and these things are huge. They're like 9 feet tall. They're like bigger than an average human, and when you see them kind of like walking around and kind of lumbering forward, you kind of get that scale. It was definitely an enjoyable ride. I wouldn't say it was the best movie of the world, but it was definitely an enjoyable film. It was not the greatest Turtles film in the world. I grew up around the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the TMNT, the like the older movies with the live action actors and stuff, and not the ones that are kind of the newer generations. So those were kind of my turtles. I think I even one year dressed up as a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles character for Halloween, and those were really my childhood. And it's kind of weird going back and look at it now and seeing how different it was. Like, the suits were so super cheesy, but I almost prefer the suits back then to the ones that were used now in order to create the characters that look like this. Now, it definitely helps when the characters look realistic, but being realistic doesn't take away from the fact that this movie could have been a little bit better. There could have been a couple scenes that could have been made better by having different like set pieces and stuff in the film, and having a little bit better of a story and a little bit better of a writer. But without all of that, it was a decent ride. So I would highly recommend for people that are Turtles fans to definitely check this movie out. You guys are probably going to go see it anyway, regardless of the fact of me talking about it in front of a camera, but there will still be people that will be kind of iffy about it. So if you're questioning it, just wait till it's on DVD or Blu-ray and rent it or buy it or whatever. I might see it again just for the fact that I'm a Turtles fan and I like Megan Fox. She's like really sexy and all, and she's not the only sexy lady in Hollywood, so I will leave it at that. But there are definitely moments in this movie where this main actor is kind of like trying to hit on her, while also the turtles are trying to, like, one of the turtles is kind of like hitting on her, and it's kind of funny seeing like the banter back and forth and stuff. So yes, there was a lot of cool humor and stuff like that. There were a couple good lines in this movie, so it wasn't all bad. I really hope that people that were hating on this movie would at least give this film a try and would at least see it for themselves before they kind of bash on it, because while yes, the pictures didn't do the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film justice, it certainly wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. So with that said, I'm going to stop kind of rambling on, and I'm going to be going to bed soon. I'll probably have this uploaded tomorrow, so in any case, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.